Hey everyone, it's Mona here at Klatch. I was recently asked to do a bookmark project and I thought, let's do it for Mother's Day, that'd be perfect. We are going to be using an ink pad and some stamps. You could print something out if you would rather do that, that would be okay. But I'm using regular paper and then I'm also using a cardstock. And just in white, I have these letter stamps. I have a dye ink pad in black, so we're just staying really basic. A lot of you guys probably have some of this on hand as it is already. And I'm going to just stamp out Mom. If you get a little extra edge on there, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to notice that when you're done. And I have these tiny stamps, letter stamps, that are really inexpensive from the craft store. And you can get them, they come like that. And you can add little words. You could do it in a different color if you want. I'm just doing black. And you can come up with different words that describe your mom. Like maybe you want to put strong or smart. You get the idea. Now I'm going to use a hummingbird stamp that I had on hand. You don't need to use a hummingbird stamp. You can use musical notes if your mom loves musical notes. You can do flowers if mom loves flowers. And I'm just going to start stamping it around. I'll kind of shift it a little bit when I stamp. You're going to have some overlap in areas, which is totally fine. So that's what we have. Now we got to cut this down. And we're going to cut it down just by ripping it. I'm going to fold it. And I want strong, make sure strong is still on there. I don't want to stray too far off of that. And you want to get it somewhat straight. And then you are going to fold it back the other way. You don't need to do it really tight. You just need to make sure that you have a little bit of a guide to be able to follow so you don't stray too far off of it. And we want to do that on the other side. Okay, and then we will tear it here. Now you're going to pick one hummingbird in there or one flower or whatever you used, and just we want to highlight it, and we're going to highlight it with a little colored pencil. So I'm going to do red for the head, use a little yellow for the tummy, and then I will use green for the rest of them. Here's a centerpiece of our bookmark, but it looks a little bit plain, and we don't want to leave it just white. You could use alcohol inks, ink pads, anything like that if you want. So I was trying to think of what most people have on hand. But I have these little makeup sponges from the dollar store, and I have Sharpie markers. Most people have Sharpie markers on hand. So we're going to go with a pink. I think we'll go with a brighter pink and a blue. We're going to take our marker and we're going to color right on the sponge. I have a little rubbing alcohol in a cup, and I'm going to just dip it right in here just like that, and I'm going to go across the middle. Now this is pretty bold. You can go with a lighter one if you want, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side with the pink. Okay, and now I'm just going to go around the edges with the pink. And if you think that's bolder than maybe you'd like to go, just take a fresh one and just go over it, and it will take some of it off. And then it'll kind of blend them together a little bit. So now just set this aside. It dries pretty darn quick. Now we need to work on the background. This is dry already, and now I'm just going to put it right on a piece of cardstock, just plain white cardstock. Now I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to put it down, and then I'm just going to start tearing the paper right along that edge. And you could do this for the middle part too, but I just wanted it to be a little bit rougher. And here's our outer part. But we want to obviously make that prettier too. And on the background here, I'm going to take the hummingbird again. I'm going to stamp right off of it so we don't have any bare edges. And we're going to let that dry. So now we want to use different colors on the outside than we did on the inside, otherwise it all will blend together. So I have green and yellow that I want to work on here, and I'm going to just put it right on here, and you want to get the edges, you want to get everything nice and green. Now we'll do the yellow. And you can blend them together a little bit as well. Now we want to do the same thing on the other side. Right over the hummingbirds. There you go. Now you want to let that dry as well. Again, it all dries very, very quickly. Now on this one where I went a little darker than I had planned, I feel like I've lost some of that hummingbird. So I'm just going to come back with the pencil, the colored pencil, and color him in a little bit more again. Okay, so here's the background that's dry, and here's the foreground that's dry. So before we do anything else, since this is now dry, we can also pick a hummingbird back here that we can color in. So there's the background with the bird right in the middle. And then here's the front one with the bird as well. Now you want to take some stick glue. In the back of the centerpiece, you want to put a lot of glue on there. You want to make sure this is going to stick together. You don't want Mom's bookmark falling apart. And now I'm going to place it as centered as I can get it, and then I will rub it down. And if you decide, well, I don't really like this edge that much, you can take your decorative scissors and cut closer to it if you want a more finished edge. Now you need a hole punch, and you want to get in there, center it right over that M. You don't want it to be too close to the edge because then it'll more easily rip out, but if you're down in there, you should be fine. Since we have some vibrant colors on this, I'm going to use a ribbon that is a pretty bright pink. So I'm going to just cut a length off and run it through here, and then I want to tie it, okay, just like that. Now you need some beads. If you could find beads that have like wider openings, that's going to be easier for you. If you're using beads that have a smaller opening, you're going to want to have a needle tool or a toothpick on hand. So I'm going to tie a knot, and this will prevent them from going all the way down. And you don't have to go buy beads necessarily. If you have like an old costume necklace of pearls or something, you can dissect that and reuse those. It doesn't have to be beads, it could be charms. Okay, and then once you get your beads on, I'm going to go 3 on each. You want to tie your knots. And remember, the knots need to be, you need to do enough so that they don't fall off. So here are 2 versions of the same bookmark, and both of them, I used the hummingbird on both. This one I went with more pastel colors. These were a little bit bolder. This one I left plain with just the coloring, and here I have the hummingbirds on back. So you can go as crazy as you want with it. On this one I attached a key and a charm that says love, and on this one I just did beads. So if you're giving Mom a book, or maybe she just likes to read, she can put it right into her book, close it up, and here it is. Now she knows her page. And there's the other one. I hope you like how they turned out. These Sharpies are a less expensive alternative to the alcohol inks if you don't have any of those on hand. And it gives a really pretty watercolor look. So please let me know what you think of them in the comments below. Thanks guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day. If you like this video and this project, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up and a share. It helps me more than you know. I will definitely see you next time, you guys. Remember, life is too short not to shimmer, so grab your glue gun and your glitter. Stay safe. Bye, guys.